Welcome back to Legacy Labs. Today we're going to talk about tools, AI tools, productivity tools, project management apps, CRMs, dashboards, content tools, educational platforms, all of the shiny things that people download when the work feels stuck. And I get it. A better tool can help. A good tool can save time, reduce friction, organize information, and make the work easier to manage. But a tool is not the same thing as structure, and that's where a lot of systems break. Better tools don't always fix broken systems. They usually make the existing break move faster. That's the whole idea. If a structure underneath the work is clear, the tool helps. If the structure underneath the work is broken, the tool just gives the break better software. It's a very modern problem, very tragic, and very subscription based. So the surface problem. Here's what it looks like. So the work is stuck. A team feels scattered. The content is inconsistent. The handoffs are unclear. The workflow keeps breaking. The decisions keep disappearing. Someone suggests a new tool, a new AI assistant, a new dashboard, a new content platform, a new project management app, a new system that's supposed to feel like it's going to finally fix this mess. And sometimes at first, it feels like it works. The thing looks cleaner, the dashboard looks official, the AI output sounds polished, the tasks are color coded, the documents are easier to generate. But then the same problem comes back. The team is still unclear, the creator is inconsistent, the business is still making slow decisions, the school is still misreading the student, the brand is still hard to explain. So the tools change, but the structure didn't. So people usually try. People will usually try to fix a stuck system by upgrading the tools before diagnosing the problem, or the structure rather. The team gets new software, the creator gets a new app, the business gets a new AI workflow, the school gets a new learning platform, the brand gets a new content tool, the organization gets a new dashboard, but the same question remains: what is the tool actually supposed to carry? And that's the question that people skip. They ask, what tools should we use? But they do not always ask, what problems keeps returning? Who owns the next step? What does good actually look like? Where does the decision live? What should the system remember? What rhythm does this workflow needed? So those are better questions to ask instead of just what tool should we use. A tool can help organize those answers, but it cannot invent those answers for you. This is the structural break. The structural break is simple. A tool can speed up the system, but it cannot repair that system. It cannot repair what the system is built to carry. If the purpose is unclear, the tool amplifies confusion. If the ownership is weak, the tool store abandoned tasks. If the standards are missing, the tool creates polished inconsistency. If the memory is broken, the tool produces work nobody can retain. If the handoff is bad, the automation just moves the bad handoff faster. That's the break. People think the tool is going to create clarity, but tools do not create clarity by themselves. Tools move whatever structure already exists. So if the structure is clear, the tool helps. If the structure is broken, the tool makes the break louder. Better tools do not fix broken systems. They move the break faster. So here's an example. So let's use Team Northbridge. So a team called Northbridge has a communication problem. Decisions keep getting lost. Internal documents are inconsistent. People are not sure which updates matter, and nobody knows where the final version lives. So the team adopts an AI writing assistant. Now the documents get written faster, the summaries look cleaner, the updates sound more polished. That sounds like progress, but the real problem was never document speed. Nobody agreed on what the documents are for. Nobody knows who owns the final decision. Nobody defined what good means. Nobody knows where the updates live. Nobody reviews what changed. Nobody tracked what the system is supposed to remember. So now Northbridge does not have clarity. They have more confusion than they originally did. The AI tool did not create the structure. It accelerated the absence of one. That's the danger. A tool made the output better before the system knew what better actually meant. So the narrative architecture read. So from a narrative architecture perspective, we always start with the pulse, right? So pulse in this example is going to be what the system is actually trying to carry, or it could be what the work is for. What's the signal? What should the tool help preserve? If the pulse is unclear, the tool is just going to amplify the unclearness. The pressure. So pressure is what tests the system. So it could be speed, volume, complexity, expectations, deadlines. More pressure reveals whether the structure can hold. If the pressure is unmanaged, the tool accelerates stress. Inheritance, so what the system carries forward. So old habits, broken handoffs, unclear standards, past tools, old workflows, previous failures. A new tool does not erase that inheritance. It usually inherits it. It usually inherits the old structure if you're not checking for it. So motif, that motif is what keeps repeating. So it could be a repeated complaint, repeated breakdown. Same thing keeps happening. Nobody knows who owns it. Nobody reads the updates. And nobody trusts the dashboard. Nobody uses the tools the same way. That repetition is data. Memory is what the system retains, loses, forgets, or duplicates, or fails to pass forward. If memory is missing, the tool produces the work the system cannot keep. Rhythm. So rhythm is how the work actually moves. So from idea to ownership, from ownership to action, from action to review, from review to decision, from decision to memory. If the rhythm is broken, the tool creates more motion without more progress. So the diagnosis. So the diagnosis is this: a tool can support meaning, but it cannot replace the structure that makes the meaning move. So this is the tool application problem. This is what I call the tool amplification problem, because tools do not only solve, they amplify. A clear system gets faster. A confused system gets louder. A stable workflow gets smoother. A broken workflow gets more complicated. A strong process becomes easier to repeat. A weak process becomes easier to hide. This is why a tool can look like progress while quietly making the real problem harder to see. Because now everything looks organized. The dashboard has columns. The AI has polished output. The tasks have labels. The system has notifications. But underneath all of that, the same structural question may still be unanswered. Who owns this? What is the standard? What matters the most? Where does this live? What happens next? What should the system remember? If those questions are not answered, the tool is not solving the problem. It's decorating the confusion. So here's some more examples. There's cross-domain examples, because this shows up everywhere. So in AI, better prompts do not fix unclear meaning. If you don't know what the output is supposed to preserve, AI has to guess. In teams, better software does not fix a weak ownership. A task assigned to everyone is usually owned by nobody. In content, better apps do not fix unstable content memory. You can organize posts and still not build recognition. In education, better platforms do not fix misread learning structure. If the lesson structure is wrong, the platform just delivers the wrong structure more efficiently. In business, better dashboards do not fix unclear decisions. A dashboard can show data, but it cannot show what the organization values. In branding, better tools do not fix unclear audience memory. A brand can look cleaner and still be hard to remember. In operations, a better automation does not fix broken handoffs. It just moves a broken handoff faster. So these are different domains, but the same structural problem. Do not confuse the tool with the architecture. So better questions to ask. So we ask better questions in narrative architecture. So before asking what tool should we use, ask yourself, what is this tool supposed to carry? What problem keeps returning? Who owns the next step? What does good look like? What memory should the system preserve? Where does the handoff break? What rhythm does this workflow need? What will this tool amplify if nothing else changes? That last question matters because every tool amplifies something. It may amplify clarity, speed, or consistency, but it may also amplify confusion, noise, bad standards, and abandoned work. So if the tool is not the first diagnosis, the tool comes after the structure is visible. So there's a strategy shift. The strategy shift is simple. We're going to stop treating tools as solutions by themselves, and we're going to start treating tools as extensions of structure. Define the purpose before choosing the tool. Define the ownership before assigning tasks. Define standards before producing output. Define memory before scaling the workflow. Because the tool is not just structure. The tool moves the structure you already have. That is why two teams can use the same tool and get completely different results. One team becomes clear, the other one becomes more confused. The difference is not the tool. The difference is the structure the tool entered. So what this changes. So before adding a tool, look at the system. Is the purpose clear? Is the ownership clear? Is the rhythm clear? Are the standards clear? Is the memory clear? That's the feedback. Is the feedback loop clear? If the answer is no, the tool may still be useful, but it's not fixed yet. The fix is structural clarity. The tool should support structure. It should not be asked to substitute for one, because when a system is broken, a tool does not magically create coherence. A broken system usually teaches the tool how to repeat the break, and that's the part that people miss. A tool learns the workflow you give it. So if you give it a bad workflow, it's going to inherit that confusion. If the standards are weak, the tool inherits inconsistency. If the ownership is missing, the tool inherits abandonment. and the tool is not magic. It's a mirror with features. So the takeaway is simple: the tools matter, but tools are not magic. They do not create clarity by themselves. They don't create ownership. They don't create memory. And they don't create rhythm. A clear system can use a tool well. A broken system usually teaches the tool how to repeat the break. And that's why better tools do not fix broken systems. So I'm gonna leave you guys with that. I'm finishing up an article on this right now. So this will be in the narrative architecture application section, and the strategy guide, which goes deeper and shows you how to actually diagnose and fix it, depending on the domain. That will be linked in the description as well. So I hope you guys have a great day, and I will talk to you on the next one. Take care.